I need to talk to you guys about the OneFootball app. See, the OneFootball app is the best football app there is out there, and I use it for a load of different reasons. It's great for transfer rumours, team news and starting 11s, which is actually really useful when I'm making these tactical videos. On top of that, you can now watch game highlights and even live matches, all on the OneFootball app. And believe it or not, it actually gets even better than that, because now you can do it all for free if you use the link in the description down below. So make sure to get in the description, press the link and download the OneFootball app right away. Trust me, you guys will not regret downloading this app. It really is great. So the wait is finally over and the Premier League is here. The season starts today and Manchester United's first game is in 2 days' time. So I thought it was time to give my final thoughts on the tactics and the setup that Ten Hag will use this season. So we're just going to get straight into this and start with the lineup. And we'll start in goal, where I have absolutely no doubt in my mind. David De Gea will definitely be the first choice throughout the course of the entire campaign. In defence there's a little bit more uncertainty. I think Shaw has a big battle on his hands with Malacia, whilst I think Martinez will start next to Maguire, although it may be a few weeks before we see that duo together. Dalot will be right back. This then takes us to the midfield, and for now Fred and McTominay do look like the starters, although Donny, Ericsson and Garner will provide competition, and hopefully we'll see at least one more signing in this area as well. In the attack I think things are fairly straightforward due to a lack of depth in the squad. Pretty much Ten Hag's only option at the moment is Rashford on the left, Bruno through the middle and then of course Sancho on the right wing. Then finally I think up front Martial has had such a good pre-season and deserves to be the main striker, although he will miss the start of the season with injury. Hopefully for his sake he is able to recover nice and quick to get back in the team. So that is the lineup. It isn't necessarily my first choice, but I do think it is what Ten Hag will go for. But obviously there is competition for certain places, so the starting 11 can chop and change. Now it's time to look at the tactics. So as we've seen throughout pre-season, Manchester United will look to try and play their way out from the back, and that will start with the centre-back splitting wider, either side of David De Gea in order to create easier passing angles to play the ball out. If United are pressed, we will then see quite a simple shape, with only the full-backs and one of the midfielders dropping in to help out. It will be these 5 base outfield players that are responsible in deep areas to get out of the press. Now a lot of teams drop several players deep to play through the press, but that isn't what United will do this season. It will be De Gea and then these 5 outfielders. That's why Ten Hag wants players that are so good on the ball. He really demands it. If these players are good enough on the ball, then United will be able to play their way through the press and move towards the middle third, from where they will then want to take control, often using a 2-3 shape in order to do so. Whilst this 2-3 shape is becoming quite common, the setup of the fullback certainly isn't, and this year we will see narrow fullbacks, with the fullback on the ball side often tucking in to what becomes a midfield position almost. Whilst that will be the main shape, there is plenty of room for change, and sometimes the fullbacks will push higher. Fred will then drop into the defence, and the other midfielder will drop deeper. This then turns it into more of a 3-1 shape on the ball. This is exactly why the fullbacks are so important, and it's why Ten Hag wants players that can play both inverted and overlapping. Ten Hag wants this versatility, and that's why we could see Malacia coming into this team quite soon. Whoever it is, I think the main shape will be this 2-3 with the fullbacks tucking in, and this will give the midfielders more freedom. And yes, I know Bruno is 8, one day I will get out of the habit of typing the number 18. No matter the number, these forward runs from midfield will be important, because they will create room for Martial in deeper areas, who despite starting up front will often look to drop deep to hold the ball up and also link the play. Now unfortunately United will be without this link play for the first game or two. However, once Martial is back, I think this could be the season that he really kicks on. He really could become quite a key player for the team this season. Whilst all of this is going on through the middle of the pitch, out wide things will be a little bit more simple. Both Rashford and Sancho will be asked to hold high and wide starting positions, in order to really stretch the pitch as big as possible. Now, neither Rashford or Sancho got firing last season, however they will be the key to success this year. If they get going to the level that we know they are capable of, then the Premier League really could be in big trouble once they get going. All of these little movement patterns will leave United looking something like this, essentially a bit of a 2-3-4-1 shape. A shape that is actually quite similar to the one we see across the city at Manchester City, certainly in the past. However, again, whilst that is the main shape, there is plenty of potential for rotations, and we will see spells where the fullbacks push higher and wider. The wingers will then come inside, meaning that midfield has to play a lot deeper. This can change further. Fred could drop all the way into the defence, with McTominay just in front. This then leaves the fullbacks in almost midfield positions, whilst yet again the wingers are playing nice and wide to stretch that pitch as big as possible. Now, over the course of a full game, I genuinely think we will see all of these shapes at some point. However, the primary system will be the 2-3-4-1, but it does just highlight Ten Hag's ability to adapt the shape in-game. Now, speaking of adapting, this year does feel like the time for change at centre-back, with Lisandro Martinez coming into the team, and no matter who is playing alongside him, they will be expected to progress the ball for the side from these deep areas. One method of progression that I think we'll see is with long passes from the centre-backs out to those wide wingers, allowing United to move the ball quickly, and I think that is exactly why Ten Hag favours Harry Maguire over Varane at the moment. Now, of course, the main benefit of quickly switching the ball from one side to the other is that the opposition leaves gaps in the defence as they shift across, gaps that I'm sure will be exposed with underlapping runs from the two inverted fullbacks. Now, this is where balance and understanding is key for United to get these wide interchanges right, and that's why I think Shaw will start the season as the first choice left back, because of his brilliant chemistry with Rashford on the left hand side. In pre-season, we have also seen a brilliant chemistry developing between Sancho and Dalot over on the right. They've been United's main bright spark in pre-season, and I'm expecting more of the same at the start of the new campaign. Now, whilst this width is key for quick switches, it's also important because it creates more space in the middle of the pitch, and this is where players like Martial can come to life with his ability to drop deeper and link the play with his teammates. With Martial dropping deeper, one thing I'm confident about is that we will see quicker passing moves this season. Martial is almost a perfect striker to drop deep and move the ball quickly. That will be key for this United team this season. Something else I'm expecting to see is United overloading one side of the pitch with quick short passing, before then playing a big switch over to the other side, and then looking to clip crosses in towards the back post. We've seen it in pre-season. Now again, this means that the wingers are key. In this system, they will get put into 1 versus 1 situations on quite a regular basis, and hopefully that is where they will excel, looking to beat their man before then delivering the ball into the centre. Again, that is why the width is just so important. I know I've been going on about it all summer and you're probably tired of it, but it really is vital, and at all times, no matter the rotations, we will nearly always see someone holding the width. Ultimately, that is the shape that Ten Hag will be aiming for this season, and all of these patterns ultimately have one aim, and that is to dominate and control the ball and the match, which is something that United have lacked for far too many years now. Ten Hag isn't daft and he knows this won't be easy, and whilst the control is important, it is only possible if you have the ball, of course, and that is exactly why we will see this United team counter-pressing high up the pitch to win the ball back. Now, of course, for this to succeed, the forwards are crucial once again. Players like Martial have to be the trigger point for the press, and then after that, the rest of the team have to follow, and to be fair, that is something that we saw for large parts of the pre-season. For me, it's the way that United have been doing this that has been the most interesting. Martial was often forced the ball one way before the wingers then press inside, meaning that the fullbacks have to squeeze really high, matching the opposition. Now, this is a pressing shape that only Liverpool really use at the elite level, and there's a reason for that. It is difficult to execute, and that's why the team will face issues. It will take time for this team to really get the press on point. In the meantime, be prepared to see the centre-backs put under pressure. If you get this pressing shape wrong, then the centre-backs become incredibly exposed, and the centre-backs may struggle during the early stages of the season with the players attacking them. Again, Ten Hag isn't daft, and he knows that this will take time. Rome wasn't built in a day, and this pressing system can't be either. However, with time, Ten Hag could turn his team into a brutal pressing machine. Now, for that to happen, he simply needs more players. The current squad doesn't have the quality, or even the depth actually to play with this intensity all season long. Ten Hag needs to be given the resources sooner rather than later. Whether he is given more players or not remains to be seen, and already it seems like the season is in the balance. However, regardless of where this team finishes at the end of the season, I do think we will see immense progress both on and off the pitch, and at the moment that is the most important thing for the football club. But I want to hear your thoughts. How do you think this season is going to go? Thank you guys for watching, and I will see you in the next one.